You wake up on cold, damp soil. Above you, the sky looks familiar, soft blue, streaked with lazy clouds. But everything else is wrong. The trees stretch taller than they should, symmetrical like artificial designs. The air hums with chirps and clicks, not from machines or voices, but from creatures you don't recognize. And the silence underneath it all isn't peaceful. It feels like it's watching you. You sit up slowly, your clothes torn, feet bare. There's no sign of your phone, wallet, or bag. No memory of how you got here. One moment you were at home, scrolling through a news feed filled with chaos. And now, this. You stumble forward, brushing aside thorny branches and wet leaves. Your breathing is shaky, not from exhaustion, from unease. Every inch of this forest feels too clean, too intentional, like something designed rather than grown. After what feels like an hour, you spot a stone path, a thin trail flanked by pillars carved with strange animal symbols. A wolf snarling, a falcon in flight, a serpent coiled around an egg. You walk between them, feeling more like an intruder with every step. Then you hear it, a soft, rhythmic clop of hooves. You freeze, heart pounding. A horse? A rider? Maybe there's someone here who can explain what's going on. You run toward the sound, pushing through a thicket and stop dead. It's not a horse. It's a deer. But it walks on two legs, tall and elegant, wrapped in what looks like a robe made from bark and moss. A staff rests in one hand. A satchel hangs across its shoulder. Its eyes meet yours, intelligent, surprised. A human? It speaks in clear, perfect English. You can't move, can't speak. The deer stares, slowly raising its staff. Not like a weapon, but more like a warding gesture. A warning. You should not be here. You try to respond, your voice hoarse. What are you? I am a scholar of the northern glen, it replies. We do not harm unless provoked. Pauses. But others will not show you the same restraint. Before you can ask anything else, the brush behind you rustles. A new shape emerges, black and orange stripes, heavy paws. A tiger, not on all fours, upright, like the deer. It walks with calculated grace, head tilted as it studies you. Unmarked, the tiger growls. She's wild.
No collar. No registración.
Do not touch her, the deer warns. She's disoriented. The tiger chuckles, low and deep. So were the last ones. Before they remembered what they were. You step back instinctively. I'm not dangerous, you say, palms raised. I don't know how I got here. Neither did they, the tiger replies. Until they started running, then biting, then building. You feel the weight of the moment settle on your chest. You're not in a forest. You're in a world where humans are hunted, studied, maybe even feared. A world where animals talk, walk, rule, and you are the alien. The tiger circles you like a predator that already knows the outcome. Its golden eyes gleam with the casual confidence of something that's never lost a hunt. You don't move, not because you're brave, but because your legs feel like stone. She doesn't belong to any warren, the tiger mutters.
No tracker, no tatu, no sentem tag.
That makes her illegal. She's not a threat, the deer insists, stepping slightly between you and the predator. Not yet. You cling to that yet like it matters. I am standing right here. You snap. They both look at you, startled, as if they forgot you could speak. You have a name? The deer asks softly. You hesitate. Yes, it's Kaya. The deer nods once. That's something. I am called Narif. You are in the eastern range of the Reitenwild. And I believe you're the first feral human seen in these parts in over a decade. Feral, it means you're unaligned, untamed, not integrated. You turn to the tiger. What happens to feral humans? The smile is not kind. They disappear. Narif's antlers shift slightly, A subtle signal, maybe. The tiger snarls but turns away. Fine. She's your responsibility, scholar. You want to protect a stray? Don't cry when she bites. It melts back into the trees with unnerving silence. You exhale, shoulders collapsing. Narif lowers his staff. We must leave. Quickly, you follow him half in a daze. The forest seems to shift around you, opening a narrow trail only he can see. You pass giant roots and glowing fungi, twisted vines shaped like cursive letters. Every now and then, a small creature watches you. Raccoons with bandoliers, a fox perched in a tree scribbling in a notebook, a falcon overhead wearing goggles. It's not a zoo. It's a society. One where humans are something else. After an hour of walking, you reach a narrow stone bridge suspended over a chasm. Narif turns to you. From this point forward, they'll assume you're mine, he says. You'll be under my house, my oath. You speak only when addressed. And do not run. Why would I run? He looks at you. Really looks at you. Because humans who run are seen as reverting. And reverting is a crime. You cross the bridge. The city beyond is like nothing you've ever seen. Towering trees carved into spiraling homes, walkways of woven leaves that somehow hold weight, glowing lanterns shaped like fireflies, and a subtle hum beneath it all, like the world itself is breathing. I follow you, animals of every kind, dressed in robes, armor, or simple leather. Stop what they're doing to stare. Whispers follow your steps. You see children, cubs, chicks, pups, pulled behind their parents as you pass. A sign above the gate reads, "No wild humans without escort." You walk faster. Narif leads you into a structure that looks like a temple. Walls etched with stories of wars and peace, of fire and shadow. He gestures for you to sit on a cushion woven from moss. You do. He sits across from you. For a moment, the silence between you stretches wide. Then, do you know what year it is? You shake your head. By our count, it is year 612 of the Animal Accord. Humans ruled the world once, then broke it. When they vanished, the earth healed. We rose. We built. But occasionally, one of you appears, lost, out of time, as if pulled through a crack in the veil. You stare at him. You're saying I time traveled? I'm saying you don't belong here. But the fact that you're here means something is changing. You lean forward. Why are you helping me? He hesitates, then says, because the last human I met saved my life. You stare at Narif, his dark eyes calm but unreadable. You met another human? You ask. How long ago? 15 years, he replies. I was young then, still a student. My caravan was ambushed by ridge boars. No one survived, except me. A human, wild, unregistered, found me buried under wreckage. He carried me 3 miles through ice. And then, you ask, he left before the officials came. They would have arrested him. Or worse, you feel your hands tighten into fists. So saving someone's life here is a crime? For you? Yes. A chill runs down your back. I don't understand, you say. How did humans even become this? Outlaws? Ghosts? Narif looks down. Because when your kind ruled, you burned everything. Skies choked with smoke. Rivers ran black. Species vanished. But it wasn't just destruction. It was conquest, subjugation. We were pets, or experiments, or prey. You swallow hard. But I wasn't part of that, you whisper. Neither were the others, he says. But the fear remains. Memory lives longer than blood. The room falls silent. Outside, you hear the rhythmic beat of wings. Narif tilts his head. They've come for you. He opens the door. 4 figures step in, each dressed in sleek, angular armor made of obsidian and silverleaf. One is a hawk, feathers laced with metallic thread. One is a jackal with a cold stare. The third is a serpent, coiled and silent. And the fourth is a badger older than the others, eyes sharp with authority. Counselor Tharn, Narf says, bowing his head. The badger speaks. Scholar, you've brought an unmarked human into our city. That alone carries consequence. She came through a rift, Narf says. Not by choice. Choice or not, says the jackal. She's unprocessed. She could revert at any moment. You glance between them. Revert? You keep saying that. What does it mean? The hawk's voice cuts like wind through steel. It means becoming what your kind once were. Violent, primitive, domineering. You were never meant to return. I haven't hurt anyone, you say. Yet, the serpent hisses. Narf raises his staff slightly. She deserves a trial, not a sentence. Counselor Tharn narrows his eyes at you. Very well. She will be examined, watched, but one step out of line, and she's to be neutralized. Neutralized? You echo. You mean killed? No one answers. You're led to a small stone dwelling near the scholar's sanctuary, a temporary safe unit, as they call it. 2 guards are stationed outside at all times. Your food is brought through a slot. You aren't allowed outside without Narf. You've been downgraded from guest to specimen. Days pass. Narf visits often, bringing books, some in animal script, others with translated glyphs. You read about the first silence, when humans vanished overnight. No war.
No disaster.
Just gone. No one knows why. Some say the earth exiled them. Others say the animals rose up in secret. The truth is buried. But the more you read, the more you notice something strange. In the oldest records, humans weren't just rulers. They were worshipped. One night, as you sit reading by the soft glow of a leaf lantern, Narf arrives, unannounced. There's something you need to see, he whispers. You follow him through a narrow corridor beneath the Scholar Tower, down into a chamber lined with stone carvings. Each shows animals bowing before human figures. One figure wears a crown of branches. Another holds fire in their palm. A third raises a city from the ground. These were the 3, Narf says. The ones who taught us to speak, to build, and then disappeared. Your eyes lock on the tallest carving, a human woman with a scar over her right eye, just like yours. That's not possible, you whisper. Narf turns to you. We don't know where the first humans went, but the last time one returned, it nearly broke the accord. You stare at the stone version of yourself and wonder, are you a stranger here? Or something more? You can't take your eyes off the carving. The stone figure looks exactly like you, not just similar. The same jawline, same scar above the eye, same small tilt of the head. Even the clothing is eerily close. Torn sleeves, a knotted rope at the waist. It's like someone etched your reflection into stone centuries ago. You turn to Narf. What does this mean? He doesn't answer at first. Instead, he walks up to the carving and places a hand on its base. A spiral symbol etched beneath the feet of the woman. This was the symbol of the human accord, he says quietly. The pact made between our species. The 3 taught us everything: language, fire, governance. But after the rebellion of Fur and Feather, it was believed all remaining humans were exiled, banished into a realm beyond our world. You stare at him. A realm? Like another dimension. Narf hesitates, then nods. We call it the Veil, a place of still time, a holding chamber for the condemned. But some believe a few were left behind, hidden, sleeping, or reborn. He looks at you carefully. You shouldn't exist, he says. And yet here you are, wearing the face of the one who built this city, who vanished before the uprising. You step back from the carving. I'm not her. I can't be. You're not a copy, Narf says. You're something else. A thread pulled back through the weave. Suddenly, the ground trembles beneath you. A muffled boom echoes through the stone chamber. Then a second. Closer. What is that? You whisper. Narf stiffens. Trouble. You're rushed back to the sanctuary tower, but the streets are already in chaos. Torch-bearing animals flood the plaza. A massive bear in armor shouts into the crowd, his voice booming over the crackling tension. She is the face of the old ones, he roars. Do not be fooled. The humans seek dominion again. This one is the first. There will be more. It's not true. Narf shouts from the steps. She's peaceful. She's under our protection. The bear points at you. Then let her prove it. Let her survive the trial of the chain. A murmur ripples through the crowd. You glance at Narf. What's the trial of the chain? His face is pale. A relic test from the old days. A gauntlet, built to determine if a creature was sentient or feral. And if I fail, you'll die. That night, they put you in a transport cage made of vine metal. The guards are quiet. One, a lynx with a scarred face, won't meet your eyes. You hear whispers that the last human who took the trial was torn apart by shadow beasts. Others say no one has ever returned. You're delivered to a stone platform surrounded by an amphitheater carved into the canyon. The chain hangs from the central column, a vine metal collar with 6 links attached to ancient mechanisms. You are led into the circle. The bear, General Merrick, announces the rules. The collar lies at your feet, unlocked. The arena is silent, but not peaceful. It's the kind of silence that comes before something massive shifts. Above you, the crowd of intelligent animals stands still. Predators and prey alike watching you not with fear, but something closer to awe or suspicion. You've passed the trial of the chain. Not by force, not by submission, but by proving you could be something more than either. Narf steps forward, cloak rippling in the canyon wind. You've done something no human has done in generations, he says quietly. You've earned your right to exist. And now, they'll want to know what you're going to do with it. You look around. Eyes, dozens of them, stare down at you from the city tiers above. Some hopeful, some hateful, few afraid. You finally understand. You're not just a stranger in this world. You're a disruption. They move you to an inner sanctum, a place of monitored sanctuary, they call it. Guards still follow, though they no longer aim their weapons. Word spreads fast. The returned one, the echo of the builder, the feral heir. You're now a myth walking, but power, you learn, is a dangerous thing here. Some animals, mostly the smaller species, begin visiting in secret. Raccoons in mechanic aprons, songbirds with scrolls, a badger carrying a broken compass. They don't speak openly, but their message is clear. The system isn't working. There's inequality. Species stratified by instinct. Foxes excluded from councils. Wolves given command by birthright. Rodents trapped in burrows with no chance to rise. They think you're here to change it. Narf warns you. You've become a symbol now, he says. Symbols are powerful, but they're also dangerous when they stop obeying expectations. General Merrick visits next, alone. He doesn't threaten you, doesn't growl. He just stares. We built a world without humans, he says. It took 6 centuries to balance what you unbalanced. No fire-forged war.
No poisoned sky. No hunger.
I'm not trying to break it, you reply. You already have. He leaves without another word. The next day, the sky darkens. Not from clouds, from smoke. A fire breaks out in the lower city. Rumors spread like sparks. A human sympathizer said it. The returned one is gathering a rebellion. The accord is failing. It doesn't matter if they're true. Someone needs to blame something. And now, they blame you. That night, Narf bursts into your chamber. They've called an emergency council, he says. Some are demanding your exile. Others worse. You clench your fists. I passed the trial. The trial doesn't matter anymore. You've become a catalyst. They fear what you represent. Then what do I do? you ask. He meets your eyes. You lead. They expect you to flee. Instead, you speak. At the council hall, a towering dome where the laws of the Accord were first etched, you stand before every species. Predators on the left, prey on the right, birds in the galleries above, reptiles coiled around marble pillars. You walk to the center unshackled, unarmed, and you say, I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to become her. But I won't run. I won't rule. I won't repeat what came before. I only offer this. If you still see humans as threats, then make me the last. But if you believe the world can be better, not through instinct or dominance or fear, then let it start with me. The chamber falls silent. Then someone claps, a crow. Then a rabbit. Then a lion. The sound spreads. Not everyone joins. But enough do. Enough to shift the balance again. Weeks later, you walk freely. Not as prey. Not as ruler. But as the first human citizen of the Accord. You work with Narif to translate old human texts, blueprints, languages, ideas. You help fox children learn to read and argue with wolves who still believe in blood ranks. And sometimes, when you sleep, you dream of the woman in the carving. And you wonder, was she the first? Or were you always meant to finish what she began?